Hello everyone, it's a new year and today we're going to see some new exhibits currently on view in Soho, which is where we are now, as well as Tribeca. And we're going to start the day at Nino Mier Gallery. This is an exhibit of works by the New York-based artist Ethan Cook, who's known for these large-scale canvases composed of various color blocks. And at first glance, they look like paint on canvas, but they're actually made up of a variety of materials, such as fabric and even copper. So to create these works, Cook uses a 4-harness loom. I will insert a picture of one so you can see what that looks like. And he actually weaves these shapes out of cotton and then sews them together to create the canvas. And in this exhibit, he's done something new with his works, which is to divide the canvas with a horizontal strip of copper. And I think the mix of textures, this really shiny, smooth metal contrasting the weave of the fabric, is very visually pleasing. The exhibit is titled How the World Becomes World, and this is a reference to an essay by the French philosopher Merleau-Ponty titled I and Mind. So Merleau-Ponty is known for arguing that there's an inseparable connection between the mind and the body, and he particularly emphasized the role of the body in shaping our perception, asserting that our bodily experiences and movements contribute significantly to understanding of the visual world. Citing the artist Bridget Riley, Cook says, quote, "A painting should first and foremost be a feast for the eyes. It should bring you in visually, and you should feel it with your body." Also a follower of Merleau-Ponty, she believes the body is the main conduit for understanding the world, not the eye or the mind. It makes sense that Cook would feel this way, given his works have such a physical nature to them, thanks to both how they were created, but also the amount of details they contain for the eye to engage with. Our next stop is still in Soho at Nicodim Gallery, and this is a group show with works from 3 artists, Samantha Groff, Devin B and Katherina Olschbaur. And admittedly, I'm only familiar with Devin B who's an emerging LA-based artist that's honestly had a lot of great traction over the past few years, winning a number of awards. He also impressively has works in the collection of the LACMA and the Mocha, just to name a few. The last show that I saw of his was actually at Nicodim's LA space in 2021, so I will leave that video linked above and below if you want to check that out and see more of his work. All 3 artists create what I would call unconventional portraits. So like many abstract artists, their goal is to use color, gesture, and texture to capture the intrinsic qualities of the figures they convey on their canvases. So for example, emotions or a memory. These are all internal feelings or internal dialogue you can't physically see on a person experiencing it. But by using more abstract techniques, you pick up on these things as a viewer. And like all group shows, I will make sure to leave the names of each artist below each work so that you know who has created what. We've now made our way down into Tribeca to Canada Gallery to see an exhibit of works by Joan Snyder, who's a very established American painter. In the mid to late 60s, she was known for, quote, working explicitly with the idea of female sensibility, using materials in her paintings such as lentil seeds, flocking, thread, glitter, and gauze. And then in the 1970s, she became well known for her gestural stroke paintings. So you'll see a little bit of all of these techniques in the works in this show. And I should note that these are all new paintings. A key inspiration for Snyder is music, and it influences her work in a number of ways. But the most foundational is the impact that it has on her process of creating her paintings. So, in my opinion, she has a really unique process where she'll bring notebooks with her, and when she's seeing live music, she creates these sketches along with notes about her thoughts and feelings, as well as ideas for colors and textures that she'd like to use. So she'll then go back over in time and reference these notes and then create works based off of them. Another way that I think her musical inspiration divulges itself in her works is in the form of these long horizontal canvases. I think they look like a staff, which, if you're not musical, a staff is the foundation for which compositions are written. It has this exact shape made up of horizontal lines and spaces that are the foundation for notes. The gallery shares a really beautiful message, I think, when speaking about Snyder's work. They said, quote, Snyder's work is a call to courage. Despite all that is happening in the world, she beckons us in to come close, to see shared pathos, beauty, and joy. And I really do feel that when I look at her works. I see joy and beauty, and I hope you do too, because I think we could all use a little bit of that right now. Our final stop for this video is James Cohan Gallery, and this is a group show titled Arcadia and Elsewhere, and it's meant to highlight the prevalence of the landscape in contemporary painting. There are over 67 artists featured, so it is quite the group show, and I think it's a really nice mix of established and emerging artists. Again, I will leave the names of each artist featured up close on the screen. It's also the first show of theirs that has spanned across all of their New York locations. So this is 48 Walker, and we'll head over to 52 Walker next. And that's all for this video. There are honestly so many exhibits on view right now that there will be a part 2 to this coming out next week. So make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss it, and I will see you all then. Have a great week.